Welcome back to part 2 of our virtual volleyball clinic. Part 1 can be found on our YouTube page as well as our Instagram and Facebook pages. In part 1, we discuss how we teach passing here at Mary, setting, our arm swing mechanics, as well as the dynamic warm-up that we usually use. Part 2 today, we're going to go over how we teach serving, hitting, and attacking, some blocking cue words for you, a little bit of floor defense, and more at-home exercises that will help you become a better volleyball player. Thanks for tuning in.
We're going to start with overhand serving, and I'm focused on my toss here. My dominant arm is already up, so I have a lot less to think about. My elbow's high, my palm's out, my wrist is tight, and I'm lifting the ball with my opposite arm out in front, so I have to reach, and it's in my midline. When I go to swing, I want to make sure I'm engaging my core and shifting my weight from my back foot to my front foot. This is where all of your power is going to come from. Notice I'm keeping everything really simple, not adding in any sort of junk or extra movements. So opposite toe is pointed to my target, and I'm finishing palm to target as well. I'm going to lift the ball, keeping my toss super simple, taking one step, and finishing palm to target. So a jump serve can add a little bit more power and velocity to your serve. Your footwork is the exact same as your approach. It's a left step. I'm going to toss, finish right, left, and then swing as I'm in the air. So again, the movements are really simple, and I'm not overcomplicating it. You'll notice I'm tossing with one hand here. I'm going to show you how to toss with two in a second. I'm going to take my left step, toss, right, left to close. I'm open so I can engage my core, and I'm swinging, finishing palm to target. Notice I'm still tossing out in front so I can jump into it. And now I've added some power to my serve, making it more difficult for passers to pass the ball. I want to give you a couple of examples of using two hands to toss. If you feel more comfortable doing that, that's fine. But the truth is, the more you focus on good mechanics and keeping things simple, the better server you'll be. Here's a couple of drills you can do at home. The first is toss, toss, toss. Find a corner, focus on working on perfecting that toss out in front in your midline, only as high as you could reach. The second is working on contact. So starting with your elbow up, trapping the ball against the wall, keeping the wrist tight, palm driving the center of the ball. And working towards serving against a wall, like Maddie's doing here, and then jump serving against a wall. The more you get comfortable with your toss and your contact on the ball and keeping things simple, the better server you'll be. Now that you guys are nice and warm from serving, we're going to switch gears to hitting. I'm going to show you a couple of drills, and Coach JT is going to show you a couple of drills that you can do at home. The first is self-toss hitting. So giving myself a nice high toss here. I'm fortunate enough to have a net at Barry, but you can do this at home against a wall. You could do it in your backyard, but tossing out in front, nice and high, about 15 feet in the air so I could take my full approach and swing. You can challenge yourself by swinging cross body, back to zone 1. I'm hitting out of the middle here, but you can do this as an outside hitter, a right side hitter, in the front row or in the back row. I'm also going to swing back to zone 5 here, so a wrist away shot. So now my thumb is finishing down. This is kind of a trick shot around a block. A lot of times you'll see this when outsides hit hard cross or right sides hit down the line. Not as powerful necessarily, but equally as effective of going around the defense. This is a good time to remind you guys that in part 1 of our virtual volleyball series, we break down the arm swing. So if you haven't had the chance to check that out, I definitely recommend it. We also talk about how effective tipping is, and statistically it's the same as getting a swing kill. So here you see me working on different tip shots, trying to sell it as if I'm swinging first, opening up, elbow stays high, and I'm just using my fingertips rather than my palm. You can tip short, up and over a block, or you can tip deep to the corners.
All right, so next skill we want to talk about is attacking. Volleyball, like baseball and softball and so many other sports, is a rotational sport, and especially for young players, this is really, really important that they get their core involved and rotation of their body and not just shoulders. A couple keywords for attacking are going to be just elbow high, high contact, getting good rotation. So we're going to work just in a static position first. So Maddie's going to be on her knees. We're going to be facing a wall. Okay. Have somebody toss a ball. Again, doesn't have to be a volleyball skilled person. We're just going to toss a ball. She's going to make a big draw. She's going to bring both her elbows up really high. Then she's going to kind of pull open and be ready to attack. Rotate forward and hit through the ball, making sure we get our shoulders facing the wall on our finish. Right? That's it. The other thing we want her to do is kind of control her left arm. It's kind of getting squirrely out here, so she's going to control that. The big draw all the way up. That's the most important thing. Good. Keep a high elbow on your attacking hand. Good. Another thing we talk about, we'll probably talk about this more in the next demo, but this sets you up to have a hitter facing the setter. And that's going to start your rotation properly. So that's why we set this up this way and not with somebody over here or somebody behind. We want that hitter facing their setter or facing where the ball is coming from. Okay, rotate your shoulders all the way around. Good. Not better. High elbow, high contact. Good. Good.
If you don't have a buddy, you can do this on your own by tossing with two hands, opening up, and swinging against a wall. Focused on all of those mechanical things that Coach JT was talking about. Challenge yourself by trying to get a couple in a row even, while maintaining good mechanics.
There's a lot of different footworks for approach. We focus on 3-step in our gym. There's 4-step. Really the last 2 steps are the big ones. So we're going to focus on 3 steps today, but really just thinking about the last 2. So our steps are left, right, left. Okay, so Adah's going to do it with me. We're out here. We're ready to go. On our approach, we're going to go hit a ball. The ball is passed. We're going to go left, right, left. And so on those last 2 steps, we're going to open our body up so we're ready to hit a ball. Okay? So we're off the net again. We're ready. We're getting ready to sprint towards the net. Ball set. Left, right, left. We can jump. Yeah. We'll demo the jump.
You gotta add your arms in, Adah. Forward,
Okay.
back, up.
So that's the footwork. The next thing we're going to do is add our arms. We want to add a good pull with our arms and just arm drive up. That's going to help us get into position to hit and going to help us jump higher. You ready? Okay. Left and up. There she goes. She went a little bit faster than I did. But on those last 2 steps, we're going to load our hips and our arms and then come up. So left, right, left, and push up. Ready? Left, right, push up and land. Good. And if you're landing in a 90-degree angle to your net, so facing your setter. That's exactly how you want to be. You can always start this drill by being at the net, transitioning, and then going right back in and doing that for like a 30-second time. It gives you good conditioning, gets you really working on your footwork for attacking and transitioning from the net.
So here we see Maddie and Adah working on their transition footwork, drop stepping, running, and throwing their feet or hopping, and then their approach footwork back to the wall, which is their net. The next step in this would be to add a tennis ball or any sort of beanbag or something you don't mind throwing. They're throwing little balls here, just adding in those arms, so forward, back, all the way up before they swing. Just working on our kinesthetic awareness and training our brain, again, to have proper swing mechanics as we add in our footwork.
All right, so the next skill we're going to work on is blocking. This is an easy thing to do at home, against the wall, any other thing that you have kind of a burden, or you can just do it out in the yard. We have a wall here, so that's what we're going to use. So the first thing we want to talk about is posture, and we talk about posture all the time because the tendency of players is to just kind of get lazy and just stand at the net. Well, you're not going to be ready to go. So we want to talk about being loaded. So you can see Maddie's actually in a pretty good loaded position. She's got, again, you want your weight kind of on the forward part of your feet, loaded through your legs. She's got her arms down. We actually want our elbows up a little bit more. So and that's just going to be your spacing off the net, is your upper arm. Got our hands up and ready to go, so we have a quick reaction. You don't want your hands down here because then, I got to go block, and then I got to get my hands all the way up. So we want to start high with our hands and be able to reach and go get it. Here at Barry, we do swing blocking, so that's kind of the footwork we're going to go through today and talk about some things that you can do at home. So the first thing we're going to do is just a push-off step. So they're both going to go to their right and then back to the left with the push-off step. So go ahead and show what that is. Push and then straight up. Back and straight up. One thing you can try and get somebody to help you with at home is when you do that push off, that we're not standing up first and then making the move and then going down and back up. You want to stay in that loaded position the whole time. Good. Good. And then Maddie did it there. The next cue for us is when we land, we want to land with our hands high. So show me a push-off step with keeping your hands high and you're landing. Boom, there we go. Then bring them down. Hands are up. We went and blocked, and then we landed with our hands high in case there's a ball that just kind of drips over and we can just drive that ball up. Then we'll reset. So do a couple more push-off steps. Hands high. Keeping hands high, good. Now we readjusted our hands. Keep our legs loaded the whole time. Good job. When you're at the top and when you're going to block, you want to kind of squeeze your shoulders to your ears. That's going to create strength through your block. So let's go ahead and do that. Squeeze at the top. Good. Maddie's coming off a little bit. We want to keep our hands in front and just push them up and over. All right, the next footwork that we're going to do, so get in our loaded position, is we're going to do, this is for a little bit further distance, we're going to do a crossover step and then driving up. Okay? So let's just do a slow-mo crossover. So we're going to cross over and then turn and drive straight up. Go back, cross over, turn, driving straight up. Keep those arms in front of you. We don't want to be tight to the net like this. We want to have elbows in front between us and the net. All right, ready? And go. Go back. Good job. Our last footwork for swing blocking that we do is we're going to do an open step with a crossover and drive. This is a lot of our middles use this footwork a lot to get all the way out to the outside. All right, so we ready? And go. And you can see Maddie did a little bit. That middle step is almost a jump. So we're open, and then we're kind of jumping out and going through that second step. Some keys here on this are when we're opening, we don't want to open away from the net and go this way. We want to stay parallel so we can turn back up. We also want to use our arms. So unlike static blocking, as I turn, I'm dropping my hands. So just like when I'm approaching, I can bring them back up and make my jump a little bit higher. So we're not going to keep our hands up the whole time. We're just going to, as we turn, we're going to drop them and then use them to come back up and press at the top. Okay? Do a couple more. Full steps. Hands are down, high, press at the end. Good. All right, let's do one more. Come on, Maddie. Hands down, then we go up and press and hold as we land. Good. Good job.
So I'm going to show you blocking in real time. Here's the push-off step. Using that footwork to create explosiveness and get up and over the net. Here's my crossover 3-step. Step in the direction, cross, finish. But I'm getting my outside foot back around. And here I'm adding in transitioning. Transitioning out of the middle, so I'm going to go block the right side, transition, run a 3, then I'll go block the outside hitter, transition, run an A, or kind of a shorter slide, and then I'll go block the right side again, transition, and run a slide. Footwork and creating patterns like this is going to be the best conditioning that you can do, especially when you're at home or by yourself. Floor defense comes down to footwork. The best defenders have great ball control and great speed, something that's going to come from practicing footwork. So I'm going through a couple different footwork options here. I'll show you a different angle. The first is a drop step shuffle. Noticing I'm keeping my tray out the whole time. The second is kind of a back pedal, shuffle, and then a crossover step. Here we have run-throughs, so wanting to stay on our feet as much as possible in defense so that we're ready for the next ball. We're always balanced. So simple things like practicing your running through without taking a false step backwards is going to help you in the long run be a better, quicker defender. Okay, I'm shooting my platform out and taking a jab step here. Again, things that you can do at home without a ball that are going to help with your body awareness, ability to make changes as your coach gives you feedback. Here, I'm going through an emergency move without fully sprawling to the ground. I'm going to let momentum carry me through as I pass this ball. So belly button towards the ball, under the ball, and through the ball. So if I take a jab step with my left foot here, I'm going to drop my left knee and stay on my feet and let momentum carry me through. So I don't have to sprawl and my range becomes a lot bigger and I'm ready for the next ball. If you're at home and you have somebody that can toss or hit balls at you, this is a great way to get comfortable playing balls outside of your body and working on growing your range. Another emergency move that we use is the double knee drive for those fast middle blocker hits that come right at you on the 10-foot line. This helps you get under it really fast.
Good, now faster. same thing. Keep your platform together the whole time. Beautiful. One more just like that. Nailed it. Perfect. Okay.
I feel like new sunglasses, like a brand new pair of jeans. I feel like taking chances. I feel a lot like 17. I feel like windows roll down new city streets and cabs. I feel like anything can happen, laughing. You take me right back when we were kids. Never thought I'd feel like this. Like when I close my eyes and don't even care if anyone sees me dancing. Like I can fly and I don't even think of touching the ground. Like a heartbeat skip, like an open page, like a one-way trip on an aeroplane. It's the way that I feel when I'm with you. Brand new. Brand new. I feel like a young John Cusack, like making big mistakes. I feel like for the first time in a long time, I am not afraid. I feel like a kid. Never thought it'd feel like this. Like when I